Well, happy Friday, friends. It's Julie Norman, and I am today going to tell you about how I took my own advice from the Planner Contentment series. So, I was thinking about it as I was doing the series, and 3 questions came up, especially at the time of the last video, which was last week Friday, and which was the part where we break down what is the right planner system for you. So my 3 questions that came up was I myself practicing what I preached? Was I content? And did I have the right system? And so those things kind of bothered me, and at the end, how it all worked out actually clarified a few things for me. So I wanted just to share a little bit about that, because I know if you might have gone through the series and have struggled with a few questions of yourselves, for yourselves as well. So I just want to tell you that you are not alone when we start questioning things and struggle with things. And also, just if you would like to share what your struggles were too, or if you had no struggles and you had the right system all along. And so let's get into it. Okay, so the two systems that I have that you've seen before that I said are opposite, according to my thing here. So remember this. This is where I am, and the Hero's Journal and the Silken Sonder are opposite of what actually really works for me. So I have these here, and you've seen these, and there's nothing wrong with either of these systems. Let me just move this out of the way. But it's just because they are not perfect fits for what works for me. I would highly recommend these to people who like the structured pre-made. These are wonderful journals and planners for those things. And I just, if I was that kind of personality, I would just be all over it. So these are my 2 dilemmas. And so why did I get these? And I was thinking about these, and both of them were commercials or ads that I saw on social media. So look at how effective that is. And at the time that I purchased them, I wasn't as clear as I was now on what really worked for me. My own Planner Contentment series really helped clarify that for me. So with this Hero's Journal, I have been trying, like I said, to make it my decluttered journal, and I have made it all the way through, how far? This far. That's all I've done out of this whole journal. So that's not even, I don't know, that's 1/5 of it, and I've done more decluttering, but I just don't journal with it. I'd rather just take my traveler's notebook and make a few little notes in my journal. So this isn't for everything that I'm trying to make it. I'm trying to make it work, but every time I try to go back to it, it's not working. But it's a great journal, and I even set up quotes and things for me as I went. But for now, I was thinking, why am I trying to struggle and make this work? And okay, here's why. I paid $50 for this thing. I think it might have been $55. Plus, it includes a digital package, and I have that video previously of why I think it's a good deal. And I think it really is a good deal for somebody who likes these kinds of structured journals. You just don't have to think about it. You just fill it in, and voila, you're done. So I love the concept, and I love how it's a journey. You go through all these things. It's like you're on your own quest. And it appeals to the geek side of me, because I am kind of a geek. But every time I go to use it, I struggle because it's just not my fit. So what I'm going to do with this, because I've already started and have so many things in it, I really can't pass it on to somebody. So I'm just going to put it aside, and maybe there's some way, someday down the road, I will have an aha and it'll work. And maybe, I could even, maybe this is sacrilege, but I could even cut out parts and add it into my regular journal. So there are ways to do that. And so I'm going to just put this one on pause and put that aside, and that is part of my clarification. So the second one was the Silken Sonder. This was another one that I really struggled with. But here, I said it could either be up here or up down here. And down here is a little closer, because I like how you get it every month. So I took my own advice, and there is a video that I did called Overwhelmed by Silk and Sonder. Watch this. And I gave some advice, and so now then I went through and took my own advice, feeling, why am I not feeling this? So one of the things was, what sparks joy in you? And what sparks joy, when I open this and I look at the cover, and it's beautiful, and the theme is tranquility for October. I really, what is joyful for me is receiving it, getting a fresh start for every month. And then what else I liked about this is, let me skip to it. I do actually use these trackers because this is September, and this is my tracker of my blood levels, my what do you call it? My meds, my making sure that I take my insulin every day, and then how I'm feeling. These 2 pages have been really useful for me, so I've been using that. And so this gives me joy because I know I like to see things at a glance. And I also really I love that they brought back the self-care bingo, and I like that they're doing the Wheel of Life again, because I'll take it again because I did it a couple months ago. See how it changed. These 2 recipes, these are actually recipes that I think I'm going to actually try. So that was like, woohoo. And then that was about it. Oddly enough, the weekly and the monthly things that they have in here, they really aren't useful for me because they're already in my traveler's notebook. I don't want to do double duty there. And so I was thinking about this, and so is this enough to justify purchasing this every month? And so I was thinking about it, what the price tag. And a couple months ago, I think in August, I turned my Silk and Sonder into a YouTube video content planner, and that didn't really work. So what I'm going to do next month for October is combine this one into the content planner and the health thing. And I think it's going to work really well because it's kind of it's a little separate, because these health trackers, I actually will, when I'm done with them for the month, I'm going to take them out and convert them into a disc bound to keep them in my archive journal to have that glance. And then I'm really okay with going through to here, to these pages, these blank pages, writing out my content ideas, and ripping them out when I'm done. If it has no lasting value for me, or if I just am making notes, I'm really okay with just saying, these are just notes. So it's just a way to keep all of the thoughts and that together. So I'm going to give this another try because it fits into the monthly, and there are some joy spots here. And so it is still useful to me. I'm going to continue with the Silk and Sonder. All right, so that brings me to these. I'm going to continue with this, and I also have, this is my core system. And I'm going to show you how this all clarified to me what I really needed for my core system, and I've changed it around a little bit. And this is the Traveler's Notebook system. It is a wide size. This is a Happy Planner cover. I got it on clearance somewhere. It's plastic, it's not leather, but actually I kind of like this because it's really easy to wipe off. And it's more flexible on the binding, because sometimes the leather ones have that stiff cardboard on a stiff end, so it's so you have to fit into a certain size. And I like that I can just squish this down if I need to, based on how many books that I have. So I figured out, what do I need most in this thing? And of course I still have my mileage log. So I figured out I really like the calendars to keep track of the dates and to note down what I do in a day. So the calendars, think about it as writing a book. I have what I call the errand runner. This is my calendar monthly one. And so, for instance, here's December. I made this all myself because, like I said before, this is not a keepsake for me. It's just for reference. So this is the rough outline of the story of my life, is this. And I only went to halfway. So halfway took me to July of next year, and then I left the other half blank. And the reason why is because my to-do list is on the other side. Now before, I made a whole book, and that was all filled with calendar, and when I was done with a page, I would rip it out. And eventually these ripped out. So, okay, so here's my idea, is that once I rip out October, this other back page will be ripped out, and they'll evenly evenly, mostly come apart. So if you have questions about my reasoning there, feel free to ask me. But that way, with this traveler's notebook, eventually it'll be really small. It'll just get smaller and smaller and smaller. Okay, and then we have the weekly. So the weekly, think about the weekly as the rough draft of a writing of your book. And that is when I can make notes. Let's see if I have any one here that I can show. So here is, all right, here's December again. So here's my rough draft. I know I should have a spinning guild party here, so right here I could write down what I need to bring, probably a gift and some food. These assignments, that's because I have these stickers, are for what my YouTube content is for those days. And say this is December, so maybe on Thursday I want to make sure that I go shopping for blah 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 for gifts. But it's putting down a little bit more details of a rough draft of how I want the day to go. And then my journal is actually what happens in the day, and that is, think about it as the actual day. So where there's notes or artwork, I showed you that one before. So that is going to be my flow, and not every day will I put something in my journal. And the reason why I decided to not do that, to no longer do all of these, day things, day scripting, is because I'm really not comfortable with the whole concept of scripting anymore, and that's a whole nother video. But another one is I want my planner to be my journal, to not just be a list of things I have to do today, because that's kind of lifeless to me. I want it to be something to look back on, something I like, to remember the days, to inspire me of this is what I've gone through, or this is what I used to do, explains where I've been, and it marks the days and times. Not every day is going to be a day where I need to do journaling, which is okay. Maybe they'll last longer that way. But these are really nicely made notebooks, and I was burning through them just telling about what I needed to do in the day. So for me, that's going to be how I'm going to change it up. So, and I don't want it to be just a place of daily to-dos. To look back on that, that's not going to be inspiring. So my life is different today than it was a year ago. Last year at this time I was preparing for a major surgery, which really changed the whole course of my life. The year before that, I was traveling through about 5 states as a yarn sales rep, so I needed a different system. And I was publishing knitting patterns, writing books, blah, blah, blah. Each year is so different. It's good to rethink the planning system that you use every now and then. And, a couple of you commented that you used to use a Franklin Covey, and you changed that when your job changed. And I would say, I did too. I forgot about that. I used to have a Franklin Covey when they were really popular, and that was when I was working at a corporate job. The nice thing, though, is that the Covey is still a flexible system that falls within this square. Binder, minimal. It can be minimal. It could be a little bit more pre-made, but it is so flexible because you can put anything in your binder. So, going back to the original 3 questions, did I have the right system? Yes. When I narrowed it down, and I finally just said, no to this, and limited this, that I know that I'm not using this as a calendar at all. This is more of a self-care and content planning journal. It's not like my core of my life. So that is, yes, I do have the right system. Was I practicing what I preached? Yes. Although the question came up to me was, I changed my planner stuff up a bit. So can I change this into this, or a discbound, or a binder, or go back to a Covey, and still have planner contentment? And the answer that I came up was that, my personality is one that I like change. I like to be flexible, and I like to change things up and keep it fresh. So I am able to change within this here, and maybe I leach a little bit into the other areas. But if I'm here and I stay true to the core of where I'm at, I am content, even though I might change it up into the different methods within this circle, or there's this square. Today you might see me have a binder or a discbound, but it is the core of how I like to plan. So yes, I was practicing what I preach, and I'm more clear on that now. And those are the 3 questions that I answered. So that is just a little bit of taking my own advice. So you know that I'm not just throwing out a bunch of, touchy-feely kind of little psychobabble stuff, because I'm not a psychologist. I just have some life experience and knowing myself. And this is my own creation, so a little bit of the admin part of me coming up with the creative part of me across. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope this helps you to think through your planner contentment and to get a little bit clearer on it, because it is a process. It's not something that's going to happen overnight. Even if you did watch videos and go through it, you may have to work through a few other pieces of it, just like I did. So I hope you enjoyed this. Please do like and subscribe so we can spend some more time together, and have a joyful day. Okay, it's postscript time. Here's my little sign. Yeah, I'll have to come up with a better one someday, but P.S. And I started a new art because, okay, look at this, guys. Hobby Lobby had clearance on their stickers, and they're really cheap, and I love stickers. And okay, I was trying to minimize my stickers and say, I'm just going to use them all up and then be done, and I'm not going to buy. And then I go and I there's more, because I mean, $4.99, these are like $20 books. They're even better than getting it with the 40 or 50% off. So I bought quite a few thinking, oh, maybe I'll sell them and stuff. And it's like, I got to stop buying stickers. But I keep doing it because it brings me joy. And so I started something different. And now I'm going to need to buy more stickers. How crazy is that? This is what I started. This is artwork made by stickers. And this is, okay, if you can't tell, it's a mountain scene. I asked my husband, hey, what does this look like from you? What do you think this looks like? And he says, and I said, it's mountains. He said, oh yeah, I just thought you meant, which mountain range. Nice catch, honey. So yeah, that's supposed to be a mountain range, so that was my first attempt. And so since I've made it a little bit simpler, and I'm starting to make some greeting cards. And here's one. This is a Planet Perfect sticker, and I never really used all of them. And I just made, a ball gown of flowers. Here is a simple teacher one. And what happened to my other ones? Okay, and here is a happy camper one. And while you look at that, I'm going to look for the other ones here. Just a silly purse. I don't really like that one, but, just trying to do one. And here's a dog. So I've been making cards out of these. So if you are interested in seeing a little bit more about how I do this, let me know. This is just a little postscript to show you what else is happening in my life. So thank you for watching. Have a joyful day.